Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many questions that come to your mind when you are in fact seeing this politics. Those scenes still very fresh as far as at least my memory is concerned. I was there on the ground reporting from one hospital outside one hospital to another. Those who were denying patients admission to patients because they did not have enough oxygen. There are certain questions that have come out as far as this report is concerned. I just want to put these questions out before I take you to my guest this evening for the 6 p.m. Prime Face-Off. What was the formula that was relied upon preparing this report? What is the formula that has been the subcommittee has in fact relied upon? Why is the report not signed by the panel members? If there was no shortage of oxygen, why did so many hospitals issue oxygen crisis SOS every single day? Why did they run to the courts? Why were people in unending queues if there was no shortfall of oxygen? If oxygen was not utilized optimally, who should be responsible? The hospital or the government of Delhi? Does the panel mean that the oxygen shortage in Delhi was artificial? If there was excess oxygen coming in Delhi, where was this oxygen going, at all? These are some questions that immediately come to our mind, and we'll keep asking these questions. And to get a more clarity, this is not something, ladies and gentlemen, that can be forgotten, because we have to learn our lessons. COVID is not over. These things may happen again as well. So let me now bring my guest at this moment, RP Singh, Sardar RP Singh of the Bharatiya Janata Party is joining us this evening. Jasmine Shah, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, is also with us this evening. Thank you, gentlemen. Good evening and welcome to 6 p.m. Prime Face-Off. Jasmine, I want to start with you first, because there is a very peculiar thing that we heard today. The report which Manish Sisodia came out and completely dismissed, which he said that there is no such report which has been submitted to the Supreme Court. Well, I can tell you the Supreme Court registry has confirmed this. This is the subcommittee report, which was in fact mandated by the court itself to audit the usage of the oxygen as far as government, or as far as Delhi is concerned. Why would you just come out and deny this report? There are members of your own government part of this subcommittee.
Ankit, let me first clarify what Deputy CM Mr. Manish Sisodia has said today. He has said that no such report has been approved or signed by the members of the committee. Now, if the central government, under the call and beck and call of the BJP leaders, has decided to go ahead and unilaterally concoct a report, which is what has happened, that's the reality, because none of the members of the panel are coming forward and saying, yes, we have signed this document and here's our signed document. So it's very unfortunate. The entire world knows that when the oxygen crisis happened, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was awake 24 hours, making calls, responding to SOS calls of hospitals, trying to urge the center to give oxygen, going and even knocking the doors of the Supreme Court, whereas the Prime Minister and the entire BJP leadership was busy fighting elections in West Bengal.
Jasmine, before it gets more political, I want to ask you something. Jasmine, before it gets more political, I want to ask you something, because I understand that, this just seems quite bizarre that there were people dying because of lack of oxygen, and we are being told that there was no such crisis. But Jasmine, how do you explain? You've been saying that it has not been signed. The report has a letter by Mr. Buddhi Raja, which is a dissent letter, which has been attached in this report. The letter by the government of Delhi is also part of this report. All that I am asking you at this moment, Jasmine, is it just not blatant, politics when we just come out and dismiss this? It has been made at the headquarters of the government of BJP. It is a Supreme Court mandated committee, with the members of this committee are the chairman of AIMS, Mr. Guleria. There is a bureaucrat from your government who is part of this report. Mr. Buddhi Raja, a very well respected doctor, is part of this panel, and you are coming and telling me that all of these people have not presented any report, has been concocted?
Absolutely, Ankit. Have you seen, let me ask you a simple question for your viewers' clarity. Have you seen a report like this which has sign of all the members of the committee saying that this is the final report?
It's an interim report. Have you seen that? It's an interim report,
no,
so they don't need to sign it. The final report will have the signatures.
No, there is no interim report which has signature and approval of the members of the committee.
Okay.
And we have gone on fact, we have gone on record at the level of the Deputy CM who made a press conference announcement today that this report such a report which has been claimed.
Sir, I'm sorry.
Center is in its full liberty to submit anything it wants to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
But does not itself make it an authentic version of any report.
But what Mr. Manish Sisodia is also saying can't be taken as the gospel truth or the fact, because this is a part of the document in the Supreme Court. We'll have to wait and see whether the Supreme Court, what they have to say on that. But Sardar RP Singh, and I want to break it down and come to various aspects of it. One is the denial of this report. The other is, of course, the huge claim, an embarrassing claim which has been made in this report of exaggeration as far as the oxygen crisis is concerned. Sardar RP Singh, the Aam Aadmi Party's first line of defense is that they have denied that these reports exist. How do you answer the question that why is a report or a document submitted in the Supreme Court doesn't even have the signature of the members, those who are part of this committee?
Ankit, you yourself confirmed that your channel would have confirmed that the report has been submitted in Supreme Court, and you can confirm it from the Supreme Court. Today, in the pandemic times, things are moving digitally. They don't need signature also. Things move digitally, one thing. But you said that there's some problem in calculation of the oxygen. I mean, where you brought a point that was there a problem in calculation of the oxygen, or was there a real problem? Let's come to the issue. Report is there, there's no doubt. The 125-page report. You have the copy, I have the copy. They want to deny it, they can keep denying it because they are caught now. And let me remind you also, I have a date by this data during those period of oxygen shortage. First day 490 metric ton, second day we need 590 metric ton, third day we need 7 metric ton, fourth day 770 metric ton, and then 900 metric ton, and then 1000 plus metric ton. But when Supreme Court said let's audit it, they said, oh, हमारे पास तो surplus है यार, गाड़ियाँ खड़ी हैं, कोई आकर ले जाओ, फालतू पड़ी है हमारे पास तो. Remember that? Chief Minister saying, we have a surplus oxygen here, why don't Haryana or UP come and take from us? Sir, it was other way around. People in Haryana, UP, Punjab, Rajasthan suffered because of surplus oxygen being supplied there, and there was a shortage there.
Sardar RP Singh, are you suggesting, sir, that Delhi never had an oxygen shortfall, that there was no crisis? All the hospitals, those who were going to the courts for urgent hearing, asking them, we were counting hours, sir. I was reporting outside hospitals. You were, in fact, helping hospitals get oxygen. Gautam Gambhir was helping, so was Aam Aadmi Party leaders, so were Congress leaders. So was all that concocted?
Sir, thank you so much. That's what I'm saying. There was a mismanagement on part of Delhi government that they couldn't manage it properly. They couldn't do the distribution properly to the hospitals. Let me name 2 hospitals. Let me give you part of the report where 2 hospitals have been named. Those 2 hospitals don't have that much of bed for the number of the oxygen, the sort of metric ton of oxygen which was given. Sangar Hospital, Aruna Safed Road, it was mentioned in the report. And there's another Life Ray Hospital in Moral Town. They have very few beds and more oxygen was given.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, that there was no planning for distribution of oxygen.
Jasmine, so the charge is that the government of Delhi could not